जय गुरुजी साहब। प्रणाम हमारे प्यारे प्यारे गुरुजी को। संगत जी, आप सबको भी प्रणाम। आज हम तीनों गुरुजी की बेटियां रूहानी जुस्तजू के 5वें एपिसोड में इकट्ठी हुई हैं गुरुजी के बारे जुस्तजू करने के लिए। यहाँ पे दिल की बातें होती हैं, और बुरा ना मानना जब हम दिल से उनकी बारे बातें करते हैं और कहते हैं कि यस गुरुजी, यू आर द सेंटर ऑफ आवर बीइंग। There's Anita Kumar, who is a very old friend of mine, and Aarti Kapur, who is a much younger person to me, so I knew her father much more. And now, with Guruji's grace, I'm getting to know her too. I think the first thought that comes to my mind, is that, Anita, let's start with you, because I remember seeing you when we went there, when you went for the first time. It is not about the first time, but what was it that when you remember Guruji, what is that particular face or nazakat or bath that gives you that comfort and gives you that yes in your heart, in your soul?
So, lovely question, Bamby. So, when I first met Guruji, thanks to you, I remember the day very vividly, Bamby. You were sharing your satsang in the car, and I was disinterested because I didn't know what satsang meant. And I was gazing out the window, and I thought, I'm obliging this lady. She's a friend. It'll be over soon. These were my thoughts. I was gazing out the window, and your satsang was falling on deaf ears because I'd gone to many babas, gurus, pandits. So, and then we arrived at Chota Mandir as we know it today. And as I walked in, and Guruji was sitting on his gaddi, very cool dude, unlike a guru, trainers, t-shirt, shorts. But his face, his aura was larger than life. And because I was always seeking, I was always spiritually very inclined. When I met Guruji and his aura, that sense of comfort just permeated me. Immediately, that sense of belonging and being at home penetrated my soul. And I knew that you had got me to the right place. I felt at home. I felt I had arrived. And I felt I'm always going to be loved. For the first time, when the world rejects you, Guruji accepts you. So that is the greatest thing for me. When the world judges you, Guruji, in a very non-judgmental way, embraced me. And that was a big one for me when he said, Tu roz aaya kar, aur roz langar karna hai. So that was music to my ears. And I felt like, a mother, father, a companion, best friend had just embraced me, taken me in his fold. And I felt a sense of hope, a deep, profound hope that life is going to be better now.
Wow, that's so beautiful. That's so wholesome, isn't it? Doesn't it fill your soul up कि you feel कि हाँ अंदर से बाहर तक प्यार आता है गुरुजी के दिन?
Yeah, I felt now I'm always going to be taken care of no matter what.
That is very important. How about you, Aarti?
Yeah.
All of that, but with a little bit of a twist, I think. My first recollection of Sahib is the second day my parents went, because the first day they went without us. And the second day we were actually invited into Guruji's Darbar because Sahib had told Mama Papa कि अपनी बेटियों को भी लेकर आना. So I remember Guruji sitting in a baby pink chola, and I went like a blank canvas, not knowing what I'm walking into. I'm just accompanying my parents for all I know. That's it. And, when I started my journey, I per se had no problems. So I always say that for me, there was no life before Guruji and after Guruji. My life is with Guruji, and my life is Guruji. So very impressionable mind, but I did have an aha moment that when I was told we are going to some guru, I wasn't expecting Guruji to be looking like this.
Yeah.
That thought certainly crossed my mind. And I was like, who's this youngish looking chap in, heavily embroidered chola? And my initial impression was, have we walked into some Indralok? Because literally, Bambi auntie, there was an auntie standing Guruji ki kursi ke piche, rubbing his shoulder. एक
Oh,
हाथ करके बैठी थी, एक पाँव दबा रही थी, and I was like, wow, what a scene. So that was my initial impression. And Shabads were playing, and Guruji had a very brief conversation asking कि हमारा नाम क्या और हम क्या करते हैं. And that was it. But there was something about that place where वो दिन और आज का दिन, you will remember, Bambi auntie, that छुट्टी देते time हम सब अपनी नजर ऐसे कर लेते थे. But we just don't want to go back. What it was, I don't know, but there was a feel-good factor about that place, and there was this magnetic aura that you just didn't want to leave that place. So
that's
I don't feel any differently even today.
now that's good. So when you think of Guruji, you think of that particular day when you are down, when you're out. Is it that particular day that gives you the comfort, or that particular look that gives you the comfort? It's always something. What is it?
That's a very interesting question. So for me personally, it's these specific words that Guruji had said to me. And this happened at Bada Mandir, Bambi auntie. I think one of the first functions to be celebrated at Bada Mandir was either his birthday or Shivratri of 2000. It's a blur.
Okay.
And we were doing seva outside. And the Bada Mandir was very different from the Bada Mandir it is today. Literally thande pani or jhadu ke saath seva hoti thi.
Right, right.
And we were trying to get back in, me.
Okay.
And Binny uncle and Vippy uncle were standing at the door.
Okay.
So my parents were a couple people ahead of me, and they were allowed to go in. और जब मेरी बारी आई तो ऐसे करके हाथ से वो barricade बना
Stopped
दी.
you.
And I was like so livid. I was like, एक तो इतनी ठंड है, मैं थक गई हूँ, and why would they not let me go in? And बड़ करके, I'm just speaking in my mind. As soon as they lift sort of that barrier, and I was allowed to go in, और मैंने गुरुजी को जाके मत्था टेका, गुरुजी looks at me, इन्नी चंगी कुड़ी है, इन्ना गुस्सा ना करया कर. And auntie, was I embarrassed, because it was a reminder that he's processed your thoughts real time and he's telling you what you were thinking. So anytime I'm in a situation where I'm like, I'm really going to punch somebody in the face, those are the words I hold on to. And it's like, it calms my soul.
Okay.
Inna gussa na karya kar.
It puts you under control at once.
Yes. It's like somebody putting a leash on you.
Amazing. Anita, do you have something like that? Anything that, when you're the lowest, when you went through cancer the second time, you went through this pain also that why the hell second time, everything, okay? We all go it, we all process it, everything. What was it that calmed you down?
Just knowing he's there, his presence, his teachings,
Yes.
sitting and remembering him in whatever roop I want to remember him in. And just having that comfort that you're not alone. He has your back. So just knowing that he's hand-holding you and holding you through the situation that you're going through. To have that patience and calmness and knowing that the storm will get over, you'll overcome the storm if you remain absolutely calm. So it's having that absolute trust in your master, really. The absolute trust.
At the end
infallible
of the day,
faith.
yes, at the end of the day, it's only that works.
It's only that. Because the storm is inevitable, right?
Oh, yes.
But the calmness is our choice. Either we react or we remain calm, right?
That is true. That is
so
true.
The choice is ours. So I think what he's given us, I think, Bambi, you'll agree, is the right attitude.
The
True. Right attitude to go through whatever we have to go through in a state of calmness. And even if we do flip, like you said, Aarti, you get angry, you get agitated, you react. But I think in the passage of time, you realize these are futile emotions. Let's just shift the focus to maybe listen to the Gurbani, sit in silence, be alone, and really enjoy his mellifluous Shabad Gurbani, which brings me to you now. Let's take the spotlight onto you. What is it that makes your boat float when it's sinking, literally when the boat is sinking?
It's always been Guruji's smiling face. I
Yeah.
just see his smiling face and I go, okay, everything is going to be all right. And I just, from inside, I go, okay, I'm fine. Wherever I am is wherever he wants me to be. Whatever I'm going through is what he has chosen. So I just have to sail through it. Because, a long time ago, we were supposed to go to Hemkund Sahib. And we were this huge group that got together, non-Sangal. And suddenly there were so many landslides that everybody just said, nay, 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 nay. Okay. And then we said, and we were new at that time. So we decided, okay, listen, we can't just go like that now. We have to ask Guruji. So in Empire State, when everybody had left, I was sitting on the side, and I was telling this auntie next to me, I'm going to go to Hemkund Sahib, but I have to ask Guruji if I can go to Hemkund Sahib. So that auntie pipes up and tells me, I've been to all of them. I've been to Hemkund Sahib. I've been to the whole peaks. I've taken a parikrama around the Sarovar, and I saw the barge. I mean, everything that holds significance to Hemkund Sahib ji, she had done. Okay? And then she went to Guruji to Matha Teko, and Guruji sunawada, acha, tu Hemkund Sahib gayi si. And we were pretty far away. So there's no way that we can say Guruji overheard, but knowing Guruji knows everything. ਤੂੰ ਹੇਮਕੁੰਟ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਹੇਮਕੁੰਟ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਲੱਭਿਆ ਉਹ ਪਰਿਕਰਮਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਮਿਲਿਆ or something like that. Guruji was like her. ਪਹਿਲੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੀ क्या कहते हैं ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਥਾਨ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਹੀ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਕਮਾਈ ਹੋਏਗੀ and next was my turn and I said shit he's blown her up matlab he's going to blow me up to bits and I said but the program was our stupidity. The program was in the next 2-3 days and we had to leave. And so I went to Guruji and said, Guruji, Hemkund Sahib ka program banaya. And I was waiting. But get such a blowing right now. He's going to really crack. And he turns very quietly, leans on his chair and says, Mainu pata hai tu meri hai, tu kidhar nahi jayegi.
Wow.
That made my day.
Wow.
Till this day, it's made my day. Yeah. And so for me, whenever I have, and you all know that I've gone through immense amount of karmic debt that I have written for, Sati and I have written for ourselves, that this sentence and that I know he feels that I'm his, Sahib Ji feels I'm his, that I feel, okay, okay, I will be, whatever it is, I'll be all right. It's all right. Yeah. I just walk through it. Whatever he puts me through. Actually,
That's
Anita, you came up with such an interesting point, which even I wanted to discuss about, is about how we need to concentrate on Kirtan and solely Kirtan because Shabad Gurbani, okay, because that is what Guruji really played. And the very essence of it is so beautiful that it is so important for us. Guruji used to say, even if you do not understand, be there and go through the vibration and everything. But today we are so much into other things besides Shabad Kirtan. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, you travel so much. You go to so many different satsang communities all over the world. What do you see happening?
So what I see is what my take on this is, whatever people may be doing, what my take is, I feel, Gurbani is essential. It's our medicine, right? It's been blessed by Guruji and the vibrations are healing us. So it's essential to add Gurbani to this Shabad, maybe 70% or even 80%, right? In 2 hours playlist. Yeah. So that would make it a major part of the playlist, right?
Right.
But the 20-30% that you're playing, not to say you add filmy songs to it, but add some lighter ones which the younger ones, youngsters can also, because it's a process, right?
Right.
I mean, we start with nursery level, we love these Guru Meri Puja, ya Main Teri Patang, whatever.
Yeah.
So we love all this. And then we graduate, go to school, and then we go to uni, and then we graduate. And so I think, to connect people initially, very important to play the easy ones so that people enjoy. The ras lena na, Guruji said na, ke ras lo aake.
Yeah.
So na jao, matlab sunga dunga chunga unga, we used to say. Koi aata hai sungda, koi chunga lenda, koi soi janda, So I think Guruji is a very practical guru. That's what's so extraordinary about Guruji. He never, he was never dictatorial. He was never, even non-veg. When he said, non-veg ni khad, when he said, I can only speak for myself, right?
Right.
When I had the skin cancer, he said, "Tu non-veg chhad." And I was aghast. I said, "Guruji, chhod do." He said, "Thodi der vaste." So how kind he is. He knows, right? So today if I say, sirf Gurbani play karo, the youngsters are not being able to connect. So play Gurbani for sure, play the Vakya for sure, but do add, let them have the liberty of adding Guruji's bhajans only, or Shabad, like Okad which Rakhi. There's so many. Bin Dekhe Guru, Neend Naave. Guruji used to play all this. So play that also. Now, what I'm saying, conversely, if we have all Siddharth Mohan songs or we have all Sonia, that's completely incorrect. I'll give you examples. I went to a satsang recently in Dubai. Now I'm in Manchester, but I was there for a whole month. I went for one satsang, and it was only bhajans. Not a single Guruji ka. Only bhajans.
Right.
Not a single Guruji ka. Siddharth Mohan to Sonia Rora to whatever, Nickelberry, great. When I stood up and I shared in jest, because you don't want to sound, again, you don't want to sound authoritarian, right?
Right.
I stood and I said, in context, I said, gave the importance of playing Gurbani. So as long as people embrace this, that this is our medicine, like the Langar Prasad, like the Chai Prasad that is served. The Gurbani is also our medicine for our soul and for our physical being. There's so much going on. We're eating chemicals. We don't know what we're consuming. Guruji used to say, na, tonu pata hi nahi tusi ki khaoge agge jaake. And now, mara time aa raha hai. Har cheez mein se chemicals hai, milawat hai. Right? Bande vich milawat hai, te khaan te vich waisi milawat hai, right? Har cheez mein milawat hai na, Bamby? So ye Guruji ne bola tha. So let's embrace it to the maximum, but let's not make it too rigid either. And let's not, so it's a balance. What I'm trying to say, let's strike a balance. Let's not make it too rigid. Let's not make it too lenient either. Let's find a middle ground where everybody gets a, kind of what they came to get. Something. Like Kajal had a satsang, my sister-in-law, 2 days ago. She took 1 week to make that playlist.
Wow.
She didn't have a single Vakya. But this Sangat just did not open their eyes for 2 hours.
Wow.
So the whole idea is to empty yourselves, like Guruji said, khali karo, taki main toda garva bada. So they were filled. Their heart was full. They were overflowing with emotion, happy emotion. One Sangat, however, when she was leaving, she's not old Sangat, but then who's new, who's old, we're nobody to judge. But when she was leaving, at the doorstep, she said, Bollywood. But which is not true. It wasn't. So that also kind of dampens the hostess' heart. Ki maine itni mehnat ki, ek hafta laga diya. The Sangat was happy. They went with beaming faces, hope in their heart. So you cannot, we kehte na, zuban se hum bahut karam banate hain.
True.
But know what Guruji's maryada is. I'm saying that Guruji was very big on discipline. As we know, Aarti, right?
Very.
You can't take selfies in a satsang. Like this happening in Delhi. Delhi go for these very big satsangs. Women are dressed like, Christmas trees. They've got their jewels out. And then they're sitting there and taking selfies. I've seen that also. गुरुजी
then,
कहते हैं
no,
मेरी
no,
वाइब्रेशन में ये कौन सी वाइब्रेशन है, you know?
Anita, everybody's dedication is not the same.
It cannot be. But you can't take selfies,
But
however.
Guruji said, na,
Maryada.
"Yeh sangat
Maryada.
murti de barabar hai."
Yes.
Guruji said that.
But Mami, having said that, Guruji was big on discipline, so follow the discipline. And even we as
period.
Sangat must kind of, you know, lay out the groundwork. Discipline was already silence and vibration. Guruji the level phone the level, right?
True.
So,
You know, these things, I do not understand why Sangat will follow certain things and not follow certain things. But silence, no phones, was a definite no.
it was a definite
Guru
no.
Sahib Ji did not like it at all.
Not at all.
No. So
Rightfully so, no?
that wo convenience ho jata na, कि like I went to a satsang abhi late and a very close friend of mine, and she only played bhajan and I just couldn't connect. I just couldn't connect, and she's very dear to me. And
Right.
so, and I felt that maybe I had not communicated to her nicely that, you know, Guruji does not like bhajan as much as he prefers Gurbani, Shabads, Kirtan. And one day I did tell her, you know, then you didn't play any. And she says, no, I to can't connect to them. I can connect to this. I said, what about कि गुरुजी ने कहा है ऐसे और वैसे, अब now you will say जोड़े बाहर रखो, मत अपनी बाहर रखो, अकल मत चलाओ घर. Then why would you, you know, it is a conflicting thing that you're doing. So you need to sort out yourself. But you know, at the end of the day, it is the Sangat who has to sort out themselves. The hostess and the host need to be very clear. Whether the Sangat enjoys or does not enjoy, it is also a matter between Guruji and the person. Sometimes they don't, you can do the best, but the people will come up and say, ye nahi changa, o nahi changa, aise, o waise. That ninda is also jaruri. Nindo. You know? So even for your sister-in-law, सब कुछ ठीक था ना, एक निंदा आ गई थी, उसका मन उसी पे अटक गया. Let go. Guruji. That's the main thing. How about you, Aarti? What do you see when you travel so much?
A lot of this actually, but as Anita Auntie said, that Guruji is in fact about practical spirituality. That said, Maharaj also said that sabdi dawa vakri vakri hai. Sabki journey, sabki soch. Everybody's on their own path. So what I personally do, as I was telling Anita Auntie, I've learned to just mind my own business, because at the end of the day, it's about your bhav.
Yeah.
It's between you and your guru. Your guru is going to see your bhav. What I say, what I see, what I perceive is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And, you know, yes, discipline is key. We have to be mindful of that. But, you know, what's the percentage of what you're playing? And I'll speak for myself. When I started my journey with Guruji, मेरे को पंजाबी का कुछ नहीं समझ आता था. Gradually, 25 years later, थोड़ा काफी समझ आना शुरू हो गया है. So I think everybody has to walk their own path. And so long as your bhav is in the sacha sucha place, I think we have to steer clear from the noise that can consume us very easily, where we start to focus on things that are irrelevant, and then we lose Guruji and all of that. So if you're focused on what the Sangat around us is doing, or how bright the hall is, or what's the quality of the food or the playlist, then where is your connection?
Where is your connection? Like
That's
came and told me, oh no, I didn't go to that satsang because I just felt it was not the right ambience and not the right place for
like, where is your focus?
And I was like, hello, the right ambience in the right place. If Guruji's has वहां स्थापना हुई हुई गुरुजी की, उसका मतलब गुरुजी वहां पे हैं, गुरुजी आएंगे उस सत्संग पे, मतलब तुम्हारा गुरुजी के साथ है.
वैसी सृष्टि. It's all within. As simple as that.
Within. Yes. You can't. Even if you've been told, if you see a jhopatpatti and you say, okay, no thinking ke I'm saying strata and all that. I am just saying no ego, because when Guruji used to make us eat 4 to a thali, it was mixed.
Yeah.
My first
Yeah.
thali was with the driver. So I know
Yeah.
Guruji
Yeah.
has nicely episode me.
He's
My
teaching.
ego. My ego.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wherever Guruji's photo is there, it is pranam. And that's
Absolutely.
all. That's all.
Absolutely.
सोचने से पहले भी सोचो,
हाँ.
बोलना तो दूर की बात. So
Yeah.
हम इतनी easily judge कर लेते हैं. मेरे को ये
Yes.
ठीक नहीं लगा. Oh, I was very distracted with the way the people were dressed.
Yeah.
And then maybe your focus was in the wrong place to begin
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
with.
Yeah, but
So,
things have changed a lot, you know. Like even a few years back, I wouldn't be talking about this topic which we are talking now, is how Sangat needs to protect themselves.
Yes. Yes.
And how Sangat are taking advantage of each other. In fact, I'm
Yes.
still finding out trying to figure out who this Sangat is because it's really touched me. And I got so upset about it, is because and it's from a lawyer, which I got to know, that some old Sangat told I'm going to say old and new, I'm sorry, because that's the only way I can differentiate it for everybody. Told some new Sangat that your wife is doing black magic.
Oh God.
Okay, get rid of her, divorce her. So, and she was expecting at that time, and now they're getting a divorce, and she's had or is going to have, I don't know, a baby. And that whole family has abandoned that girl because this old Sangat has said that Guruji has told him or her, I don't know who the Sangat is, that this lady has to be abandoned. And how can you base such huge decisions on I mean, you have to protect yourself. Everybody has to protect themselves.
No, but you're trusting the Sangat blindly then. You're not using your common sense and sense of judgment, no? You're just trusting and that's what we need to be cautious of, not to trust any Sangat blindly,
Exactly.
be it old, so-called new, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is ridiculous. People are ruining people's lives in the Sangat, which is despicable, you know? And
She always said one-to-one, okay? Guruji never said, I'm going to come through somebody for you. It was always, mere naal direct connection banao.
mere
who
naal
gave
direct
anybody the
connection
right to
for
become
now?
Guruji's mouthpiece to begin with? Like nobody. I
Nobody.
thought if you've
No.
been connected for 50 years or 30 years or 20 years, none of us, we are mere mortals. None of us have the right to become Guruji's mouthpiece to begin with. I think that's the first step.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
people need to understand that. So I think the second vachan that we need to keep front and center is no ahem, no vahem. So
Yeah.
if Maharaj had spoken these words, why do we lose sight of those words regardless of what the person in front of you is telling you? So
This is a
the
teaching.
law of common sense needs to apply as well.
No, it is when people are in trouble, people are sad, people have things going really wrong. Then you go to Har Darbar mein jate ho. Okay?
Yeah.
Before you come to Guruji's Darbar, you actually knocked every door. And then Guruji accepted you and you've come. And then for you, you found God. And then those people who have been with God, you feel, oh, they are divine, not knowing kitne cool hum log bhi hain.
Bilkul.
And that is where it starts going wrong, because
Yes.
you cannot tell somebody something so profound. Yeah.
And
You know,
so
you're not telling a person.
life-changing. And so life-destroying, actually.
It is.
So life-destroying. I mean, you're sabotaging somebody's life.
And the child, I was more bothered about the child than the girl.
You know, but Bamby, again, common sense is very important to prevail. And like Aarti said, you know, we need to follow his vachans, which is no vehem, no ahem, direct connection, have trust in your own connection. I think that's where people are lacking. They're not trusting their own connection. Therefore, they're looking on the outside and looking to each other for their answers. So therefore, when Guruji said direct connection, he meant strengthen your connection also, to the point where you're so sure of your connection that you don't need mediators. You don't need people coming to tell you कि मुझे 100 रुपए दे दो, गुरुजी मेरे सपने में आए थे, आपको बोल रहे थे कि आपने 100 रुपए देने हैं मुझे. Just give me an example.
Yeah.
You know, you see गुरुजी बोल देंगे ना मुझे आके, you know, गुरुजी खुद ही आ जाएंगे कि you know, Bamby ਨੂੰ 100 रुपए देने हैं या किसी को 100 रुपए देने. You cannot manipulate Sangat. And there's a lot of manipulation in the name of Guruji.
Oh,
So
yes.
you're right. Sangat has to be wise and not otherwise. And Sangat needs to use their intelligence and common sense.
True.
It's absolutely imperative. The more the Sangat is growing exponentially world over, the more opportunists are also being born.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of opportunists.
Yeah, but the so-called people who've been with Guruji, shouldn't they know better to begin with? Like what are you doing to your own karma? Right? And then the second aspect to this situation that you just mentioned is that at the end of the day, Bambi Auntie, people seek what they truly want to hear themselves. So if you are done with the person and you want out, then yeah, you will hold on to any message that is coming your way that kind of reinforces what's inside of you.
Hmm.
So it's not about who's saying what. It's only and only about what you want to see, what you want to hear, what you want to believe. Like I say, everything, all the answers that we are seeking
हाँ, within
us.
I get calls that मेरे को आपका सपना आया, मैंने आपको बताना, या गुरुजी ने ये मैसेज भेजा है आपके लिए। मैंने कहा ठीक है। कहते हैं हाँ, फिर आप कब मिलोगे मैसेज सुनने के लिए? मैंने कहा वो गुरुजी खुद मुझे बता देंगे, ऐसी तो कोई बात नहीं है। कहते क्यों, मुझे बताया। मैंने कहा आपको लगता है आप हमारे गुरुजी इतने छोटे हैं या इतने ताकतवर नहीं है कि वो मेरे को वो मैसेज नहीं दे सकते या किसी और के थ्रू नहीं मैसेज दे सकते? So I also had to put my foot down to say, and then I would pray to Guruji, कि Guruji, if you honestly, there is a message, please.
Yes, that's what we
Please
pray
reconfirm,
very
not through Sangat, but reconfirm. Please let me know what you desire, what you wish.
Correct. And I've spoken to you at length. My biggest fear for my own self is that when I am sort of deriving conclusions or I'm trying to decode the so-called messages from the divine, my only fear is that I hope I'm coming to the right conclusions because you don't know.
No, Aarti, this is one thing beautiful about the divine, because this is another conversation when I had when Guruji started teaching me telepathy. And I said, but what do I know? What I'm hearing is right.
Yeah, exactly.
मैंने फिर तो कह सकती है ना, you can ask me 100 times. I will reply to you, or otherwise I will push you that side. So the divine doesn't lag. It is we who are in a hurry and we lack the patience to sit and say,
You're
okay,
right.
Guruji, I will wait for your answer.
Yes.
We want prompt answers.
We do. We do.
Everything we want, like the life that is on right now.
Because we're living in this instant age. At the press of a button, we are getting everything. So we're losing patience. And that's where Guruji has taught us patience and perseverance, right? Patiently बैठो, तभी कहते थे ना 1 घंटा मैनू जरूर 1 घंटा रोज याद करो कल्ले बैठ के भी. Satsang is a separate platform, but चलदे फिरदे भी याद करो, गल्ला करो मेरे. Is to deepen our connect and to really make him our life companion. That is the essence of loving Guruji every moment. Like he said, no, be God loving, not God fearing. God fearing makes us maneuver ourselves into this vehem and ahem state.
Ritualistic, makes us more ritualistic. Yeah.
And makes us very ritualistic, and also makes us then trust the external. Now, Bamby saying, Anita, Guruji mere dream mein aaya. So because I'm vulnerable and gullible, I will believe you, right? Sure. But if my faith is strong and infallible, I will say, okay, like you said, let me wait till Guruji also responds to me or tells me. So it's all about building your own faith again. It comes back to us, comes back to the inside again. It's all within.
Absolutely.
Very well said. Very beautifully put.
I pray to Guruji every day that, Sahib, you're all powerful. Ultimately, I am nothing. I am because you are. So, जो बोलते हैं ना कि वो सोच, वो बोल, वो रास्ते पे मत चलवाना गुरुजी जो आपको पसंद ना हो. Because you are as human. हम लोग तो गलतियों की कठपुतली हैं. And God knows हम अपने सोच में, अपने बोल में कितनी गलतियां कर जाते हैं, कितने कर्म on a daily basis बना लेते हैं. आंटी, we are
Yeah.
So it's like, Guruji, please, उस जगह पे मत एक second.
हाँ,
If you need to turn everything upside down, please do it. But
Mm,
keep me on the right path.
yeah.
You know, आपकी
that's a
रजा
beautiful
हमारी रजा
point.
होनी चाहिए. So
That's a
And
beautiful
चरणों में
point.
रखना गुरुजी. What एक बार हम उनके चरणों में रहते हैं, and we are in his fold, and it's non-negotiable, that fold, then nothing can harm us. You know, he protects his own.
Yeah.
And the practice of remembering him, mantra jap karo, yaad karo, these are his vachans which are very practical and doable. There's no abstinence from anything. It is just going into that realm, walking with him.
Yeah, but then he always said, I'm a practical guru.
He always said, "मैं
Everything
practical
has
guru
to
हूँ."
be practical.
And he said, "मैं संत नू भी bless करना है, ते चोर नू भी bless करना है." He said that,
Yes.
remember, Bambi?
Yes.
He used to say that often.
काफी
Because
bless करना, right?
I think, yeah, because Bambi and I were sitting there once, and I think one lady with a bad character walked in, and I said, "Guruji," and I think Bambi remembers this. कहते हाँ मैं संत नू भी bless करना ते मैं चोर नू भी bless करना ते हर बंदा आएगा मेरे को लेकिन अलग अलग क्लासरूम में ने सारे कोई नर्सरी लेवल ते आली कोई ग्रेजुएट कर गया so never to judge try and put people on the right path but like Aarti said we are not teachers we only can stand up and share our grace with people and in the context of sharing our grace Guruji के वचन भी weave in कर दो क्या बोलते थे
And
फोन के बारे में
you know, if you're
है ना
receptive, it'll come to you. If you're not receptive, then it's like water off a duck's back. So, and it's
yeah
fine. Because that's your journey.
That's your.
yeah
But that's what's happening now. A lot of people, there's so many satsangs going on. You go on YouTube, there are a million satsangs going on. Okay. Everybody has their own beautiful experience to share. But if you're listening to 10 satsangs in a day, how much of it do you absorb and how much of it are you taking in and how much of it are you actually playing out in your life? That is what really counts. Listening
can
to
I
10 satsangs about Guruji is not going to help you.
Yeah.
so
It is beautiful. It's lovely. Very nice.
yeah I have a question linked to this now Bambi I'm going to throw it at you so again not to mention names but you know old sangat especially in Dubai I encountered this I was sitting in a satsang and an old sangat came and shared for 1.5 to 2 hours still going and they said no langar prasad till I finish sharing. Okay, hear me out. So the youngsters have work. They have to go home. They have work the following day. It was 11:30. No sign of langar. Satsang was a 7 to 8. This sangat kept talking, and then I only gesticulated to the host, langar prasad serve karo.
Mhm.
Now Guruji used to always say. ठीक है लंगर जब तक सॉरी कोई सत्संग शेयर करता है लंगर नहीं लगाना ठीक है
True.
पर ये भी कहते थे शॉर्ट में सुनाओ
Exactly.
बी प्रैक्टिकल अगेन नाउ अगर पुरानी संगत बोलती जाएगी 1.5 घंटा 2 घंटे तो बेचारे यंगस्टर्स जिनको काम पे जाना है दूसरे दिन इट्स नॉट प्रैक्टिकल गुरुजी तो प्रैक्टिकल गुरु है या तो शॉर्ट में सुनाओ या फिर अगर आपका फ्लो है आधा घंटा हो गया बोल दो कि आप लगा दीजिए पर शांति में लगाइए साइलेंस में लगाइए no disturbance no disruption because you know you've spoken for half an hour I mean I'm mindful honestly I don't speak for more than half an hour that's the outer limit because I know I'm mindful of the fact that the youngsters are sitting they have to leave so what do you say to this Bambi because ये भी ego है कि कोई लंगर नहीं सर्व करेगा जब तक मैं खत्म नहीं करांगी सत्संग
Hey,
करना
this,
and then you're speaking for 2 hours and you're thinking everyone's perspiring away looking at their watch thinking when can we go home you and I if we're sitting in that satsang we'll get impatient
yeah.
you know घर
So
जाना है 2 घंटे हो गए ना अब
long
2.5
ago,
घंटे हो गए 4 घंटे हो गए 5 घंटे हो गए there's no limit
see, Anita, this is another one of Guruji's bhajans that we need to imbibe in our satsangs. Guruji said, short which bolo.
बिल्कुल
So it has to be short with bolo.
बिल्कुल
And Guruji did not like langar and satsang together because once in Empire State there was langar going on. लंगर लग गया एक तो गुरुजी ने लेट लगवाया ठीक है लगवा के फिर जब थालियां वगैरह हमारे सामने थी, फिर बोलते कोई लंगर नहीं खाएगा. Okay, I was starving and I was looking at the langar ready to eat, and I was right in, like, next to Guruji's chairs, or my back towards him, but on the mat, with the mat in front of me. And then Guruji calls, I don't know, some uncle and says, "Satsang suna." Okay. And that guy kept on talking. And then Guruji would prompt him, "Acha, o bata, acha, o bata, acha, o bata." So I wasn't interested in listening to his satsang. I was starving. I just wanted to eat. Okay. I wanted langar, and that's where my mind was. Anyway, with Guruji, it is always something happens. Then a few months after that, then Guruji will explain why he did something. So a few months after the words, I said to Guruji, "Bada, us din alag system kiya hua tha." Normally in between the langar, sometimes he would tell somebody to do satsang, but that day was entirely different. So then Sahib kya kehte hain, shared that our minds cannot do two things together. Either we will give reverence to the langar, which is our medicine, or we will give reverence to the what Bani we are hearing, which is also meant to be given reverence, because that is our medicine too. So either one has to be done. So when Guruji has said short which karo, that means finish your kirtan, your aarti, do a half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever, and then do your langar in silence.
Yes.
Why in silence? Because you actually, Guruji used to say, "Eh twadi dua hai." If you look at langar as dawai, it will be dawai.
Absolutely.
If you look at it and say, "Okay, the person next to me is so and so, let me talk her up and say, oh, let's go, let's meet, let's ye lo, aap le lo, aap ye roti le lo, aap ye kar lo," and chat up the person. Okay, then the langar is, of course, has its own mood, and
It's lost its
don't blame the
essence.
langar if it spoils your stomach afterwards. No.
Yeah, I agree. So till date, I think Aarti will agree. Doesn't matter what satsang we're in, but we give that total reverence to our langar prasad, and we eat it in silence even now. Even if it's a social Delhi, big satsang, and people have a buffet system, I still go in the corner and hide myself away and have the langar prasad, because I truly believe this is my medicine.
Yes.
And medicine for what? There's so many things which we're exposed to today and that we've gone through, that this is sacred space for me. So I must give it my full attention. And the attention gets diluted when we start chatting with others.
And that is true. But that's what Sangha doesn't realize. How is it in New Jersey?
So I think a couple of points to unpack here. The first was about the duration of the satsang. So I agree with what both of you said, that Guruji would often say, "Ke satsang short with sunao." I think something that's worth remembering here, whether it's old sangat or new sangat or whatever sangat, is that satsang to begin with is about doing your guru ki ustat. It's not about glorifying ourselves, how good and how lucky we are. So please don't, get this very obvious memo to begin with. That आप अपने गुरु का गुणगान कर रहे हो, आप अपना नहीं कर रहे. Don't make it about yourself. And I absolutely agree, because I think this is also something what Sahib would say, कि तुम लोग मेरे पास आते हो, मैं अपनी वाइब्रेशंस तुमको देता हूँ, और तुम जैसे वो नहीं होती छन्नी की तरह, हम इधर उधर अपना उड़ेल उड़ूल के खाली होके फिर चले जाते हैं. हम लेके क्या गए ना? And how do we udelo, or how do we lose that? We lose that by precisely these things that we start to do. और बता क्या चल रहा है, तेरा सूट बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है, अच्छा आज लंदन में तो हो कितनी मिर्ची थी, तो रह गए ना खाली. And all of us, like, guilty as charged, like I'm not perfect, I'm full of flaws, but again, I think when we have these conversations, it serves as a reminder. अगली बार ये याद रखना, and that reminder starts with me, myself. तुम दूसरों को क्या चेक करोगे जब तुम खुद ही का इल्म नहीं है?
So it's a responsibility to lead by example. Doesn't matter what the other person is thinking, that Anita's a snob, she doesn't even talk, everybody's chatting
Yeah.
away in a satsang, but I'm like sitting quietly having the langar. Let them think what they want. I'm following Guruji's vachan. That is important. You understand? So then they eventually will also follow suit.
Yeah.
When we do the right thing and be the right, person, then people will eventually come your way and say, okay, ye sahi hai. Because
And
they'll
we all
realize
need
the
social
value
life.
of,
Yeah.
they'll realize the value of a langar prasad.
No, they
Not just
don't
taking the food.
realize the value of Langar Prasad. See, I've been kept in at home for last 12 years by Guruji.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was no way I was going to satsangs. Even if I desired it, there was no way happening. And so for me, when I get langar, for me, it is so amazing that I get to eat langar because I know I haven't eaten langar in so long, and I know how good I feel and how good langar makes me feel and how special it makes me feel. So now when Guruji allows me, even rarely I go for a satsang now. I'm allowed to go, or Guruji invites me rarely for a satsang. So that when I get the langar, I am so happy that I have got langar. The problem is that everybody has gone through so many satsangs that the langar has lost its ahmiyat. जो उसकी फितरत है वो तो सब भूल गए हैं कि वो लंगर में कितने गुण हैं वो तो भूल गए हैं, ठीक है। और जो हम उस गुण को कैसे अपने अंदर डाल सकते हैं, कैसे हम इम्बाइब कर सकते हैं अपने अंदर, we lost the art of it. Like Guruji said, like Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, because we asked Guruji, Kalyug ki kya nishani hai? And Guruji said that Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji has said that Kalyug ki do nishaniyan hain, ling or zuban, means your sexual organ and your tongue. Sex is one of the prime things during this time, and your tongue is the prime thing during this time. Okay, and both of them, you lose your karma with it.
That's what I said, the power of the tongue.
So this is what's, these are all Guruji ke bachan, which it's good that we are sharing with everybody. And it's, बातों से कई चीजें ऐसी निकल आती है, पता ही नहीं चलता, जो अंदर ही होती हैं. So it's nice to share these things with you because I know both of you have been there. Both of you have had an experience which is profound with Guruji, which has affected our lives, which has made us in love with Sahib. And that is how people who haven't met him also are falling in love with him. And it is, sometimes I meet such beautiful Sangat that they are so in love with Guruji. That I'm almost in love with them because they're so in love with Guruji.
Yes.
I go,
Yeah.
like, Varsha's
So much to
Darbar.
learn from.
Okay, it is so beautiful that I was like, wow, this is love, Guruji.
Yeah.
You can
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely. So you can see that therefore there's no new or old, because there's a soul connection with divinity for many lifetimes, right?
Yes.
So, and that is the essence of connecting with Guruji. See, just loving him.
Yeah.
Loving him and being a good human being. He said to see manu de ki sakte ho. For the ocean of blessings that I give you, just give me a drop of your goodness. Changa insaan ban jao, yehi bahut hai. And when he used to bless us, you said, dekhe, main banda banata hai.
Banda bana deta, yeah. That's another one. Oh, yes.
Yes.
ये सारा खेल
बंदा बनाता
हमारे
है.
खुद के भाव का है, हम ये भूल जाते हैं. आप लंगर भी जिस भाव से ग्रहण कर रहे हो वो आपको वैसा ही लगेगा. आप अमृतसर जाओ एंड आप होली वाटर को देखकर अगर आप ये बोलो ये गंदा पानी है, तो वो पानी की एनर्जी भी वही है. और अगर आप उस पानी को देख के बोल रहे हो ये सरोवर मेरे सारे डिजीजेस को ठीक करेगा, गुरु साहब आप मुझे ब्लेस करो, and I'm going to just take a complete dip in this, that water will act as your दवाई.
Yes.
We forget कि सारा खेल हमारे खुद के भाव का है. That's it.
Absolutely.
And Guruji से ना मन चंगा ते
नलके का पानी भी
गंगा. Yes.
That's another one Guruji.
The मन साफ रखो. You see, the ultimate goal again is to love Guruji and to keep your heart clean.
Yes.
To man hoye changa te nalke da pani bhi ganga.
Yeah.
Or we need to embrace and internalize these teachings, and they are eventually what defines us. Not external. It's the internal that defines us. The values that we have drawn from Guruji's teachings, and to imbibe them and to implement them in our lives.
Yeah.
Imbibe and implement.
Guruji said, na mein changa, na koi bura.
नहीं.
हम नहीं चंगे बुरा नहीं कोई.
No, वो तो
हाँ,
है. But when Guruji used to say, he said, ना मैं चंगा ना कोई बुरा.
yeah.
पंजाबी में होता है ना.
Look at his humility. Look at
Yeah.
his humility.
Look
And
at
then
him.
हमारा मन है कि उसके ऊपर layers and layers of ईर्ष्या, द्वेष, मैल, गुस्सा, पता नहीं क्या क्या चढ़ा हुआ है. And हम फिर ढूंढते हैं गुरुजी की blessings. उसमें गुरुजी की blessings कहाँ से घुसेंगी? Unless we truly drain ourselves out of this.
नहीं, पर मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ, like all the wrongdoings that are happening today, रब से नहीं डरो, पर अपने कर्मों से तो डरो. आप गलत जो कर रहे हो, अपने कर्मों से तो डरो. क्या कर रहे हो? You're misleading, misguiding. You are giving false dreams to Sangat.
Yeah.
You are extracting money from Sangat needlessly. What are you doing? So, रब से नहीं डरो, अपने आप से डरो, अपने कर्मों से डरो.
Yeah,
So, you know, your conduct.
Even I remember Sukhi auntie Chandigarh wali once said, Guruji, I think asked her, ke, after death, where do you want to go? I'm not very sure of the satsang, so I'm not going to say too much in detail. But she basically said, I want to go to heaven. And then Guruji said, but heaven is not the ultimate aim. It's not the ultimate thing. You can only live there for a certain number of years till your good karma is there, and then you are back. You know? So you're right about that. You know, if we are not aware, or are we so dead inside? Is our soul so dead inside that we do not realize that we are burning up somebody for our own requirement of money or requirement of anything, so to say? You know, we're burning up somebody. But then Guru used to say एक और चीज कि you cannot help everybody. He used to say, "तुहानू नहीं पता उसदे कर्म की है." And it's not that you are doing good, so you are helping somebody. No, it doesn't work. And plus, he said that Sangat, when I put you people together, you should come together, stick together, be together, because there are very few good people in the world. There's more evil than good as a balance. So these good people should stick together and help each other. It's very important to move forward, because the spiritual path is so tough, because you become strict with yourself. When you become strict with yourself, you become less forgiving also. Okay. And so it's very important for you to have that kind of a sangat, or that kind of a group who will also communicate with you that a balance is required there. You know?
See,
He
Bamby,
will always
Jesse
put you
Sangat
with
वैसे
somebody.
लगे.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
No,
Your
babes,
vibe
it
attracts
does
your
not
tribe.
attract the tribe. You are wrong about that, okay? Sometimes your wife attracts the person whose karma you have to give.
No, that is true. That is true. But I think this is a perfect segue into the question that's been brewing in my mind. That we're in the thick of Kali Yuga, right? We recognize that. And Guruji would always say, "Apna bhanda saaf rakho."
Yes.
Sucha rakho, saaf rakho. So, you know, what are I want to say just two most important things. Like, let's not get into a long list. Just two most important things that we can do on a daily basis to keep that bhanda saaf. For me, it's like anytime I get a thought that comes to my mind, it's like your inner voice that's also checking you that, oh, Aarti, you're actually passing a judgment. Or Aarti, तू गुस्से की भावना से, या आरती तू द्वेष की भावना से उसके बारे में सोच रही है. तो गुरुजी प्लीज मुझे स्ट्रेंथ दो कि जितना क्विकली ये थॉट मेरे अंदर आया है उतनी ही जल्दी मैं इसको ड्रेन आउट कर दूं. Let me just flush it out. And that's how I try and live my life on a day-to-day basis, which doesn't mean that I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect. And these thoughts still come at a very rapid pace, but I am just so grateful that at least वो छोटी सी एक realization, that छोटी सी inner voice has begun to speak to me, where I'm the first to know. I don't have to wait for somebody else to check me. I'm the first to know that Aarti, your thinking is off and you need to fix it real fast.
Yes. So, if I may add, it's living with heightened self-awareness.
Yes.
You know, and when we're aware of our follies, then we're able to rectify them, to correct them. So like Guruji used to say, "Na, convert kar dena, har cheez convert karna." So we also learn to convert our negative thought or judgmental thought into a positive thought and let go. I think what I've learned is not to overthink. And even if a thought permeates me, which is, negative, then I watch it as a spectator, and then I convert it into a more positive thought. And then I let it go. I say, okay, let it go and bless the person who's also causing this pain. कि गुरुजी उसकी बुद्धि भी ठीक करो और उसका भी कल्याण करो. Very important.
Absolutely.
Because like he said, sarbat da bala.
Yeah.
So ये बहुत जरूरी है, because I think everyone is linked. Like Bamby said, we're all linked in this whole
family.
matrix of life, right? So, and people come to your life for a reason, for you to be able to expiate your karmas. So no one is right or wrong. It's a role play.
Yes.
They're only projecting you at the end of the day, projecting and enabling you to maybe expiate your karmas, right? So I feel that bless them also. People who've hurt you the most, we must bless them the most.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
Right?
Every day in my das. Yes.
Yeah, really. Because they're in darkness. I have a lot of empathy for people who are ignorant. Because I feel with Guruji's meher, his grace, that we've seen the light, we feel the light, we are aware at least that how to go forward, how not to dig a deep well for ourselves. Because in these times where Guruji said, Barish honi hai, cancer, divorce, depression, when I'm feeling even slightly low, I know how to pull myself up because of Guruji's presence in my life. People don't know how to do that. So they go deeper and deeper into that abyss of despair. But we know how to pull ourselves out because he's hand-holding us. So we have his anchor. We have his support. A lot of people don't have his support because they're not connected, right? So Sarbata Vala Mango, because this is our responsibility to pray for world peace, but pray for people who hurt us the most. Pray for the ignorant, you know? कि उनको भी थोड़ी wisdom दो गुरुजी. Sarbata Vala. It's very important to pray for others. He used to say, na, apne वसे तो सब मांगते ने, दूसरे वास्ते मांगया करो. And specific नहीं मांगना, Bamby, you and I will again remember this. Specific नहीं मांगना. Because हमें उनका कर्म नहीं पता. पर कल्याण गुरुजी कर दो. You know, I think has to be a general statement of kalyan kar do. He knows what kalyan means. It's a very broad term. Yeah, it's a very broad term.
That's
Rani aunty, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? Well, I think the day, and it took me a lot of time, that I could stand and say, okay, I am at fault here, was a very painful process. And when I could do that, I felt, yes, that is one process one has to master. And the other process is to forgive. That again, I haven't been able to do with everybody, but major players in my life. I have, but still I have many who I have not been able to forgive. And it's so weird because one of my friends was talking with me and saying, Bamby, so just forgive her, forget her, not worth it. She says, I can't believe she's done this to me, and I can't believe this has happened with me, and I can't forgive her. So do you want this person to be there in your next life? I said, no way. I mean, I don't even want it to be done here in this life, So he says, just forgive her and just move on. And I said, no, I can't forgive her because I don't want her coming back in this life also. So I am at that crux where I would love to forgive, but I don't want this person back in my life. Because I feel deeply that if I am able to forgive this person, I would have passed a real hurdle in my life. And so my ghada is not completely clean because I have these boulders inside it, which I'm not being able to pull out and say, okay, let me clean this, or let me get rid of this, or going slowly, going steadily. I hope one day I can sort out all the messes that I have in my head. But the day I can, it would be wonderful because like Guruji said, na, see, gande ghade bhangwan deo, and I clean it up and then you mess it up. But yeah, one's thoughts are such that one keeps messing up the ghada with stupid thoughts, irrelevant, stupid thoughts that should not be so important, but have a way of making themselves very important. So I am still in process, so to speak.
Work in progress. Like
Yes,
all of
working.
I keep telling Guruji, I say, Guruji, मुझे वापस नहीं आना है. तो please जो कर्म वरम सब settle कराना है ना, करवा दो बस.
But Bambi, coming back to you, as long as you're aware of what you need to entangle, who you need to forgive, it's a journey. And on this path of life, Guruji is enabling you to do that. And you know, eventually you will, right?
Yeah, I know. It's
Eventually you will. There's a time, his time.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's ego. I think it's ego that I don't want to do it.
It's a process. Everything is a process.
Yeah.
If you know what, I just feel that if we've expiated all our karmas, we've forgiven everybody, we won't be here anymore. There's no need.
Exactly.
You know, we're in this school of life because we still have
Floating
many
somewhere
lessons to
else.
learn. Yeah. So it's fine.
The course is over, so college is over. Get
The
out.
day
School is over. Get out.
the day we graduate, Guruji will say, "Uno aaja mere khul." So
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Until then, Chucky piecing and piecing and piecing.
Oh,
Yes.
And do it with a smile because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
said pain is inevitable, suffering is a choice.
Yes,
So-
absolutely. Yes.
But that's
Yeah.
my dialogue. I say, Chucky be sewing and be sewing.
Yeah.
It is.
But then
Or if somebody used to
Inspired
ask
by
me,
Shoaib.
I have somebody would ask me, how's your life? I say, I am bas Chucky be sewing and be sewing. I am like, not be sewing, I'm the one getting be sewed inside.
But like Aarti said, keep smiling. You have a beautiful smile. And like I always say, a smile is a curve that makes things straight. So keep smiling.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Turn
And
that
Guruji
frown
smile
upside
again, we
down.
go back to Guruji's smile, yes.
And Guruji, look
God
at Guruji
bless.
smiling in the background.
Yeah.
So like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That smile is us.
I was
That
thinking,
smile
God,
gives us the strength.
he must be really thinking these nutwits, kya galan kar rahiyan ne? Chajdi galan karan.
But Guruji ने
Bambi?
इजाजत दी थी ना कि चाय पियो तो मेरी गल्ला करो. So that's what we're doing.
हाँ, चाय पियो.
Bilkul.
I have finished
Bambi,
mine.
and
Yeah.
with this conversation, as long as it's touched the people's hearts and it's given them even a speck of hope or answers that they were seeking, then our job is done. And I
That's-
hope it does. Because a beautiful
I hope it
platform.
makes me a better person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
There's so much to learn from each other.
Yeah,
So,
the most beautiful part about this relationship with Guruji for me and my family is that he always gave us hope to move on. And we've gone through so much shit that hope has actually kept each of us alive and smiling
Yes.
Yeah.
and to be a family and be together
Yeah.
and be human.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I didn't have that hope, I do not know if I would have survived till now.
yes.
I don't know if
absolutely.
Daddy would have survived. I don't know if the girls would have survived. It's
Yeah.
इस कलयुग में अगर जो जीना चाहता है ना, उनको गुरुजी का दरबार मिल जाए, वही प्रार्थना होगी, क्योंकि गुरु ही आपको अपने दरबार पे बुलाते हैं. हम बेशक
Absolutely.
जितना मर्जी सोच लें कि हम आए हैं गुरुजी के पास, उन्होंने दरवाजे के पास तभी आने दिया क्योंकि उनकी मर्जी है. He has decided to protect you. He has decided to take care of you and love you. And in Kalyug, this is in this time where the whole world is going upside down. This is the biggest protection we have. This is the biggest hope we have. And this is the greatest love
Yes.
about who we can talk about and share with the full Sangat. Have the confidence. Be absolutely honest and devoted because he knows everything. All your shit he knows. All your dirt he knows. There's nothing hidden in his eyes, and yet he accepts you. So please go to him. Pray to him with all your heart and be his, so that even you can be where we all are in his love.
Absolutely.
And as a concluding sentence, I think for all of us, we aspire to be the shining example of his Sangat, truly Sangat. So I think that's important. That, like I asked him, "Menu glow de do." So I hope that glow permeates each one of us, and we can be truly, we can exemplify his teachings and his love and his presence in our lives. So that's for me, and the concluding part.
अनंतम शुक्राना गुरुजी. One line, आप ही की कृपा से सजे हम हैं.
बिल्कुल
वरना
Absolutely, so beautiful.
करोड़ पड़े हैं. Thank you. Om
Thank
Namah
you.
Shivaya.
It
Jai
has
Guruji.
been such
Om
a
Namah
pleasure.
Shivaya.
I am so happy that Guruji blessed all of us and allowed this talk to happen. And may whoever here, क्योंकि बानी भी गुरुजी bless करते हैं, कि जो भी हमने गुरुजी के गुणगान किए हैं, हर एक के दिल में ऐसे बसें कि उनकी रूह के अंदर समा जाएं, ताकि वो भी गुरुजी के हमेशा के लिए हो जाए. जय गुरुजी.
भूल चूक
Jai
माफ. गुरुजी
भूल चूक
शुक्राना.
Thank you. God bless.